Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about the 7 must-try ryes for bourbon drinkers.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking about 7 ryes that we think bourbon drinkers need to try.
Because rye's great, you guys.
Honestly, I wasn't convinced that that was a true statement not too long ago.
No, like a year ago.
My mind has been changed through trying a bunch of different things. There's some real good benefits to rye. It matures more quickly, so you can get a lower age statement and still get all the nice round richness that you get in the higher age bourbon. We'll get into all that in a little bit. First, we got to get into our first sip.
Okay.
If you don't care about this and you just want the rye content, check the chapter thingy timestamp
Chapter
deals
markers,
below.
yep.
That's the thing they're called. But the first sip is what we do every episode on Tuesdays, where we try something we've never tried before, but we don't even know what's in our glass. This is selected at random from a single sample pool of products that we have no familiarity with. So let's get into this. That way you get our honest opinions on what's in the glass.
Let's do it. I don't know what this is, but I like the smell of it.
This, I've said this before, this smells divine. This smells so nice, very pleasant, very inviting. Kind of syrupy sweet, kind of like a fruity syrup though.
Yeah.
Like a compote or something.
A compote. Look at you.
Yeah.
Fancy pants.
I mean, we're allegedly not quite professional whiskey tasters.
According to Matt from ADHD Whiskey.
Let's get into the palate on this one.
Ooh, this tastes like a compote. Like a fruit compote.
Yeah.
I like saying that word now.
Yeah, it's really balanced. It's kind of, I kind of think of flavors as a spectrum, kind of like an equalizer. I'm a audio guy background. So like, if you look at an equalizer, this is just right across the board. Or shout out to Whiskey Row with the flavor knobs comparison. That's I should have just started there. I'm confusing people with the equalizer.
Okay.
All the flavor knobs on this are at 5. Like it's just right across the board. Everything is in really good balance on the first sip.
It's a little bit sweeter on the palate than I expected it to be from the nose.
Yeah, it is a little bit more sweet, kind of like a fruity sweetness, but it's so hard to say that because it's in such good balance with the oak and the caramels and all that stuff. What are you pondering?
It might be too sweet.
Let's take another sip and find out.
It is balanced.
For science purposes.
Okay.
One more sip.
So there's something about it. It is balanced. I will agree 100%. But there's something, I don't know if it's at the end, that's just a little bit too like saccharine-y sweet. For
like
me.
an art like that left in your mouth kind flavor after you have something that has artificial sugar in it.
Yeah, but it's ever so slight, and I wish it wasn't there because what the other flavor that's there is really good.
I can see you there. The oak that's here on the back end is slightly drying. It's pretty neutral, but slightly drying. I am getting out of this glass a lot of vibes of like an apple pie or like an apple crisp.
I love me an apple
There's
crisp.
like, there's some apple, there's some cinnamon, some vanilla, a little bit of like crusty type, like it's really good. We're gonna give this thing a rating on nose, flavor, and experience, as we always do. But before we do that, let's get one more sip just to make sure we're giving this glass its due diligence. Man, that's just really, really, really enjoyable, at least for me. How do you feel about it? Nose, flavor, and experience.
So I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up on the nose.
Oh wow.
It did smell divine. I am gonna give it thumbs up on flavor. It tasted good. But I'm going to give it just okay on overall experience. Oh, wow, okay. There's just something on the back end. Maybe it's that kind of artificial flavor. Something that, like, I didn't love it, like the overall experience of drinking it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's like a 0.75, but we can't do that. So.
Yeah. You got to be decisive.
Yeah.
You got to pick.
It's just okay.
Exactly. For me, it's going to get 2 thumbs up on the nose. I could smell this thing all day.
It smells great.
It's not the most complex thing, but there's some layers there. There's some nuance there. It's super enjoyable. It's not hitting you with too much ethanol or alcohol. It's super enjoyable to smell. And I love smelling my whiskey. So I love the smell of this. Flavors, thumbs up. It's really, really, really good. And then experience, thumbs up as well. I really enjoyed it. I think I like it slightly more than you, but
it's still
we're both
good.
We're both digging on this glass. I hope it's readily available. I hope it's not too expensive.
See.
That's our constant hope. I don't even know why we say that.
I know.
That's what we hope for all the time.
It's a given, yeah.
All right, let's find out what we're drinking here. Whoa! This is Old Forester Statesman, 95 proof.
I will say it drinks higher than 95 proof. There's more, a little bit more heat, a little bit more flavor than I usually get out of like a 95 proof.
I was thinking low 100 proofish range, like 100 to 104ish.
What's the Statesman situation? Okay,
so the Statesman is a core product line for them, but it's kind of also a one-off somehow.
Okay.
Like they have their standard products, they have their Whiskey Row products, and then they have Old Forester Statesman, which is a 95 proof whiskey that got developed for a movie called The Statesman or The Kingsman, or I don't even know all the background. Kingsman. But this stuff is 95 proof. It's about $50 a bottle.
Okay.
It is readily available. It is very sweet.
Yeah,
I could smell this stuff all day.
I think that might be why I didn't give it super high on experience, because I just don't.
It started to get too sweet for you.
It started to get too sweet, and I don't want to get a headache from the sweetness.
Yeah,
like, that's a thing for me.
I'm really impressed with this. Like, as far as the Whiskey Row series goes, you can get something like the Old Forester 1897 for $50, or you can get this. And honestly, I think this drinks very similar to the 1897, but between the two, having gone through a couple of bottles of the 1897, I would rather buy this.
Okay.
It's a little bit more sweet. It's not quite as, I don't even know like how to describe 1897. It's a little bit more Banana Foster-esque. This is a little bit more green apple classic bourbon in my mind.
Okay.
So that's why I would steer towards this over something like 1897. Let's talk about our real world metrics, which is the retail side of the equation, price and availability, and as consumers, would we buy it again or not? $50, we're super readily available. How are you feeling about this?
I'm gonna give it thumbs up.
On retail?
On retail.
Yeah. Because it's available and the price isn't too high.
And the price isn't too high.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But would you buy it?
Just okay. Because I probably would not. It's not a hard pass, but it's a probably not.
Yeah. As good as the nose is, I'm almost inclined to go 2 thumbs up on retail, but I'm just going to go thumbs up on retail because it's a really good pour for the money, but $50 is pushing it for a 95 proofer or even a 100 proofer. So thumbs up on retail. Would I buy it again or not? Thumbs up.
Yeah.
We got this bottle from a friend actually who was getting rid of some bottles locally. Now that we've tried it,
now we can actually start putting it in the bottle.
Yeah, and we'll see, and it'll come up on, I'm sure it'll come up on like one of our buy or rebuy episodes after we spent some real time with it and see how we feel about it. But right now, it has actually really impressed me. So shout out to Old Forester. They do good work over there. And if you think we do good work over here, then check the video description below for a link to our Patreon. Over there, that's like the interactive element of the channel. We do all kinds of stuff. We do blind flight nights with our patrons, sample swaps, giveaways. We have 2 bonus episodes in the bonus content tier every single week. They're uncut. They're unfiltered.
Unfiltered is what I like to say.
Yeah. And it's like totally originally we came up with that statement of uncut, unfiltered.
Totally.
So yeah.
We did not take that from anyone.
Check that out over there if you want more stuff and whiskey in your life and more whiskey in your life.
Yeah. And if you want more stuff and whiskey merch in your life, like Josh's
this shirt,
go to stuffandwhiskey.com. We have shirts, hats.
Is this voguing?
Drinkware. I think it's with your face, but sure, that works. Yeah. That works.
Okay. Check it out down there in the video description. Yeah. All right, let's get into our main topic today. What are we even talking about?
I don't know.
The 7 must-try ryes for bourbon drinkers.
I had to look at our notes.
Let's get into it. So, to me, this is okay, you're the rye guy.
Yeah, I'm the rye guy.
Okay, so you actually don't care about this video all that much.
Because I already know what I would
You already know what you want. But for me, I actually didn't love ryes. And here's why. And if you're watching this and you're a bourbon drinker and you're like, why are all these people talking about ryes all the time? And you're getting frustrated because like, who cares about ryes? I get it. I am you. You are me. We are one. We are together in this. So the thing that changed my mind, and this isn't going to be an official rye in the list, but the thing that changed my mind, we're here in Tennessee. It was King's Family Distillery's Ryconic Twice Barreled Straight Rye. Every rye I had tried prior to this was really herbal and like tea light,
which
or
I love.
Or even worse, it was like Willet 4 Years Rye, which was like a bowl of grass clippings with vanilla extract drizzled over it.
Which also I love.
They're very earthy. They can be very dilly, very piney.
Again, I love. Yep, dill.
Very like craft store-esque.
Love.
Oh man, it's just, and it's too much. And don't even get me started on black licorice. You put some star anise in these pours, I'm out. We're out. I don't want it. It's just not of interest to me. So this bottle right here, twice barreled, so it's aged. This is MGP. It's aged 5 years, 6 months, 111.3 proof. I tried this at a local store because we can do that in our market here in Nashville. I tried this at a local store. It's a store pick. Blew me away. It's none of those things. It's not dilly. It's not herbally. It's not grassy. It's not black licorice. It is sweet. It's beautiful. It's lovely. I'm looking at you, but I'm talking about the bottle. This stuff is so good. And I'm not saying this is the best rye ever, but this is just a twice barreled.
That was your light bulb moment rye.
Right. I'm like, wow, ryes can be really sweet and really like kind of candy sweet.
Ryes can have things that you like about bourbon in them.
Yeah. To me, if you like hot toddies, or if you like green apple Jolly Ranchers or green Laffy Taffy or something, my favorite ryes fall into those types of categories, and maybe mix in a little bit of bourbon influence, like some deep brown sugar or some caramel or vanilla. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. We're trying to convert some of you guys over to the rye side.
To the dark side.
Yeah. So let's get into it. And we're going to start, even though we said there's 7 in the video, we're going to start with an honorable mention because it's not a rye. In
true Josh fashion, we have more than 7. More than what we state.
It's not a rye, though. It's a bur rye. It's a bourbon rye mixture. And it says it, I'm sure, somewhere on here. Aged at least 3 years, which is insane that this product is this good for $40
for that
at this age. Yeah. But this is a bourbon rye mixture. And honestly, I think this is where you need to start on this video.
What is this?
If Redwood Empire, Lost Monarch. If you get Lost Monarch in your area, buy a bottle. Try it. If you like it, try some of the other ryes on this list. Okay. Unless you like really high proof, in which case just go ahead and skip ahead to some of the higher proof ryes that we have. Okay. This is fantastic. It's definitely a bur rye. Emphasis on the rye. The B-O-U of bourbon part of this is in regular font, and in the rye part is in bold. It's got a lot of rye influence, but it's fantastic. It's sweet. It's candy-esque. It's beautiful. It's $40. It's readily available in our market. Can't say enough good things about Lost Monarch. Let's get into our actual list. Okay. And we're kind of like predicating this list on what type of drinker you are. Okay. So if you like low proof bourbon and you can get Sazerac rye in your market, go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah. And for me, Sazerac is like when I know I'm drinking it, I really like it. In blinds, it has not ever blown me away, which it hurts me to say that because I do enjoy Sazerac.
In blinds, this has came across like a bourbon for us.
Correct.
That's why it's a perfect rye for a low-proof bourbon drinker.
Correct, because we
think about this stuff, you guys.
Yeah,
it's
it comes across
brain thinking.
When I don't know I'm drinking Sazerac rye, it comes across a little more bourbony. To me, it comes across like sweet tea.
Yeah.
But
it's got that sweet tea kind of element to it. It's not my favorite because we both tend to prefer a little bit more proof and flavor.
Well, now we do, but early on, this was pretty high proof for me before I kind of started getting more acclimated.
Anytime that's been in one of our blind head-to-heads, if it's ever rated low, it's never because something is off-putting in the bottle. It's just because we prefer more proof and it's a little bit weaker than we tend to prefer.
Whatever it tends to be paired up against is usually a little more higher flavor.
Which, speaking of, that's a perfect transition. You're a video professional. We're going to go ahead and get into the second category, which is literally any rye that Heaven Hill Distillery makes.
Any rye?
Any rye that Heaven Hill Distillery makes, because they're all very bourbon-esque. They're low rye percentage, like 51% rye. Elijah Craig rye, straight rye, I think is the perfect alternative to Sazerac. And I actually prefer this more than Sazerac. Okay. This is also sneaked by in double blinds for us as a bourbon. But there are some rye elements there that can get you into it if you like a low-proof rye. Matter of fact, even if you've got this and Sazerac in your market available, I'd just rather buy this, but we put Sazerac in because we know this is not available in every market yet. At 94 proof, it might not have enough flavor for you though. So from Heaven Hill also is Rittenhouse Rye. This is kind of a standard $30 mixer, but it's good enough to drink by itself. And then if you want a little bit more proof, we're out of our bottle of Pikesville, and we probably won't buy another one, to be totally honest.
Because we have other ryes that we like more for us.
Right. But for the bourbon drinker, this is a perfect 110 proof. So 90, if you like low proof, 90-esque proof, hit this. If you like 100 proof, hit this. If you like 110 proof, go ahead and go with Pikesville. Heaven Hill Rye is so good. It's a low rye percentage. It's not going to bowl you over with any black licorice notes, any dill notes. It's not going to taste like a bowl of grass. You're pretty safe buying Heaven Hill.
I love a good wheatgrass shot, you guys.
And, honestly, like if you try Lost Monarch and you can't get Sazerac in your market, just buy those three. If you can get Elijah Craig, Rittenhouse, and Pikesville, and try all three Heaven Hill ryes and see which proof point in rye you like more. Because rye can come across a little bit more spicy, not as smooth. So even though you like 100 proof bourbon, you actually might prefer the 94 proof Elijah Craig rye. So that's a little bit of a experience. I was going to say pro tip, but we're not pros at anything. It's just through our experience, we think that's a good choice.
We're pros at not being pros.
Right. Next up is going to be Russell's Single Barrel Rye. Single barrel roulette means that not every barrel is going to be the same. So not every bottle is going to be the same. But at 104 proof, non-chill filtered, this stuff has so much flavor. It's much more brown sugar heavy, which I think appeals to the bourbon drinker.
Correct. That's not a typical rye flavor.
Exactly. And that's why I think this is perfect for bourbon drinkers, because we've had this in blind flights with other much more highly allocated, much more hyped up products like E.H. Taylor Straight Rye and funny enough, talking about Redwood Empire, their Rocket Top Rye, and we actually preferred this to both of those. And you're even a rye guy, and you like this over those as well. So this is a really good product. So if you want to step the proof point up a little bit, though, you need to look further in the Wild Turkey catalog to Rare Breed Rye. So now you're going from 104 to 112.2 proof. This stuff is fantastic. To me, this is honey lemon tea. This is basically a hot toddy in whiskey form.
And cold.
It's already ready for you. You don't even have to do anything, and I'm all about doing less work if at all possible. So this is a fantastic product, and you guys know how much we love Rare Breed around here.
let's just
what more can be said? So our last couple of categories are going to be single barrels, and we're going to caution these with if you can't try them before you buy them, don't just jump into them. I think the first one is a little bit more safe. I said this is the last category. I realize that's the next last category. So Knob Creek 115 proof single barrel store picks, or just the regular single barrel. If you can get your hand on this, provided you have two.
Or hands.
Some people only have one.
You only need one hand to carry the bottle.
Exactly. So get this if you can. If you like bourbon, it's very cocktail-esque. I think this is the perfect rye if you like proof, if you like old fashions, and you like bourbon. Buy a bottle of Knob Creek 115 proof rye. It's not very rye forward, but the rye element still is there, and it's really good, and they're pretty inexpensive, like $50. Hard to beat that. Now, next up is the MGP single barrel ryes. This one from National Barrel Company, but you can get MGP single barrel ryes from a bunch of different places. These honestly can get really dilly. They can get really grassy. They can get really black licoricey, which is why the caveat on this bottle is please
try before you buy.
Make sure you can try before you buy. But this one right here might as well be green Jolly Ranchers in your mouth with a big swig of bourbon as a backer. So, or like a chaser. Yeah, that's it. So we don't really chase things around here, but this is green Jolly Ranchers with a bourbon chaser. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Check out MGP Rye. You'll pay a little bit more for them. But nonetheless, it's worth it as a bourbon drinker to find a rye you like. Now, last category.
You sure?
Yes, this is 100% the last category. Finished ryes. This is a callback to the front of the video where I mentioned the King's Family Distillery twice barreled rye.
Finished ryes are pretty special.
The reason why they're so special is because you've got all the rye spice elements there, but they bring in more sweetness or a twist of flavor that makes them not quite so.
There's just something there. It's like, there's something there I can't put my finger on, but it's good and I like it. Yeah.
And they're not grassy, they're not dilly, especially if the finish is right. So
come to mama.
These are both readily available. Sagamore Spirit Double Oaked and this is backwards. Angel's Envy Caribbean Rum Cask Finished. So both of these are pancakes with maple syrup.
I will say that the Caribbean Rum Cask Finish is a little bit more out of the box flavors.
Yeah. It's rum finish. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a rum finish. So you're going to get a little of that kind of island tropical flavor profile. Yeah. So it's going to be more of a special occasion, special mood pour. But this Sagamore Spirit Double Oak is so good.
Yeah. And it's not out here, but I would even put barrel seagrass in as like a higher proof option if you want like
also more of like a special tropical flavor. You need a specific flavor profile for that one.
Honestly, like this is more. You know what? Time out. Hit the bars. This is your everyday finished rye with the double oaking because it gives it that more sweet brown sugar maple syrup pancakes vibe.
It's a more like bourbon-esque profile for a finished rye.
This is your like Christmas time, cold weather. It's very like cookie-esque, like a kind of like a what do they call it? The gingerbread, not gingerbread. What are they called?
Shortbread?
No, the other thing. Oh man, snickerdoodle. This is very snickerdoodle-esque.
Maybe.
Kind of, but it's like you get the spice, you get the sweetness, you get the sugariness from the rum.
Okay, yep.
The rum adds like a really nice sweetness to this rye.
Yep.
And then this right here is like your summertime finished rye.
It's a little fruity.
Yeah, much more fruity with the apricot brandy. What is it? Yeah. And then there's some other finish. This has rum finishing on it as well. But these three right here, buy these. Like, just buy them and try them. This is very polarizing. You may not like it.
It is polarizing.
This is the most cautious I would be if you want to part with $90. This for $90 might be too sweet for you. So if you don't have a super sweet tooth, maybe steer clear of this. This, I don't know who wouldn't love this, honestly. Of the three, buy this one.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's the cheapest and the most readily available for the most part. So can't go wrong with any of these ryes. If you're a bourbon drinker, take it from me. I am a bourbon drinker, and I actually reach for all these ryes at some point over bourbons.
You do.
Which is saying something.
Shocks me.
That's it for this week, guys. Let's get into our other stuff.
What do we have?
Whiskey Blues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So check the video description below. Down there, you're going to see a link to a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But it's like a 5-hour YouTube video. I didn't even know these things existed.
I know you didn't.
And I ran across it because YouTube knows I like whiskey videos. So they showed me Whiskey Blues. I guess they know I like music too. It's like 5 hours of blues.
Blues music the kind of like you would feel at a blues club.
Yeah, it's really vibey. And you could put together obviously your own playlist on Spotify or something, or Apple Music if you're one of those people. And we're Apple people, but we have Spotify.
I love Spotify.
Nonetheless, you could put together your own playlist, but it's nice to hear stuff that you didn't pick. So if you have company over, put the Whiskey Blues playlist on in the background.
Good company, like background music, which we've done several times. Sometimes, like if we're making dinner together, we'll put that on. It's good background vibes.
Yeah. Or it's great to sit down with a glass of whiskey and have that in the background, analyze it. Yeah, just a ton of fun. Check it out. I didn't know that category existed on YouTube, but it's a ton of fun. Or maybe not fun, but just relaxing. Nonetheless, you know what I meant. Also, while you're down there in the video description, check that for our email address at stuffandwhiskey@gmail.com. You can get in touch if you need to. And as you guys know, if you're regular watchers, early and often, we're talking about our charity fundraiser for mental health every October. It's coming up. It'll be here before we know it. And if you want to be a part of raising money for a good cause, you can email us down there. Last year we raised $15,000. We'd love to double that or even do better this year. And a big part of that is a community involvement effort to make that happen. Absolutely. So hit us up down there if you're interested in being a part of something bigger than just this channel.
That's it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Till next week, guys. Cheers. It's funny because I have a very particular way that I like to go about things. And I messed it up. I was in my system and
I messed up your system.
You were being helpful, which I appreciate.
Well, I obviously wasn't helpful. I was trying to be helpful, but it was not helpful. It actually caused more work for you.
Isn't there something like...
I guess I will stop trying to be helpful at all times.
I'm not saying that. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea.
I'm just not going to help ever.
Right.
Because that way I won't mess you up. I'm just really looking out for you.
Yeah. Stop washing dishes.
I'm going to stop
doing anything.
Bathing myself, caring for myself.
That escalated quickly.
That's good.
Mix it up a little bit.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Gotta keep them on their toes. Keep you on your toes.
You gotta keep them separated. Hey, me, oh my. You're under 18, you won't be doing any time. Hey, come out and play.
I should know this more. I wasn't a big Offspring fan.
I wasn't, but me and my next door neighbor, Drew Eastmead, used to listen to this song all the time.
I do like The Kids Are All Right. You remember that one?
I don't know. That was literally the only Offspring song
That's a really good song.
I know.
Okay.